Thank you, PCBWay, for sponsoring this video. Nobody sells these. What are these? They are stake pocket ramp holders. I can't find a single one on the internet, so I had to measure, design, and print these myself because I have this 18-foot car hauler that can fit 3 ATVs butt to butt. It cannot fit 4 unless I side load. Between my 2 kids, myself, a brother-in-law, and a neighbor, I need to fit 4 on here. And I need from you a reason why this is probably a bad idea, because I need this to be safe.
And this is why it's important to test.
And on the topic of safe, one of the designs we're going to do is a CNC-friendly design, because no matter how good your PETG print is, it's still not going to be as strong as a block of metal.
There are 2 important parts to measure accurately, so we can only model this once in CAD. The first part we want to measure is the stake pocket itself. I'm going to build in some tolerance into the measurements, so later I know the values I've written down are the actual values I will be using in CAD. Not all stake pockets are the same, and mine seem to be, after shrinking a tiny bit, 120 millimeters tall, 95 millimeters wide, and 38 millimeters deep. Most stake pockets aim to fit roughly a 2x4. The aluminum is exactly 5 millimeters thick, with the welding bead being another 5 millimeters away from the corner that it was welded into. Next, the 3D printed part will want the vertical force on the trailer instead of the stake pocket, because plastic is just not strong enough to be supported by 2 5 millimeter sections. We're going to use the stake pocket to prevent any lateral movement, so measuring our edge, it looks like we have about 70 millimeters to work with. I'm an absolute CAD and Fusion beginner. We'll breeze right along, but I'm done with Tinkercad, and look at me all grown up. I want 2 designs. One I could feasibly 3D print in a pinch and use, then I want one that's CNC machine. First one here will be our CNC machine ramp holder, since I want to get that sent off to PCBWay. In this design I'm making here, I have it as one piece, which ended up being pretty expensive to manufacture, since I assume we need to start with a much larger block of aluminum, plus the machining time to take all that material away that I'm not using. After some sticker shock thanks to some Trump tariffs, coming back to Fusion, I realized all the weight would be on the top of the stake pocket, so we only have to CNC that top piece. But what about stability, you may ask? Well, we can 3D print the bottom in some sturdy PETG, bolt it all together. This halved my cost, and it was a no-brainer to upload this. Okay, so I exported as a step file. We're going to go to CNC machining. Right here, we're going to drag and drop our file. In quantity, I only need 2, but 2 gets us a little discount per unit compared to 1. Or if you need 50, you can get a significant discount, but I don't need 50, I just need 2. You can change your material. I want aluminum, and I'm willing to pay a little extra for it because I want the rust resistance. But if you wanted it a little cheaper and don't care about rust resistance, for example, alloy steel comes down a little bit in price, or if you got more money than sense, spend $1,500 on titanium pieces. Back to aluminum, I'm going to keep it as aluminum 6061. There's a lot of other options here, like threads, inserts, different tolerances, roughness, silk screen and laser engraving, if that's something you need, assembly. Funny story, in a previous quote, I actually had one of the PCBWay engineers lower my costs, so somebody will review it and actually make sure that you're not overpaying. So we'll click Submit Request, and it wasn't too long until I had a box of these 2 parts sitting on my front step. I did need something right away, so let's design something we can 3D print and share. As much as I love my plastic, we need to seriously plan how we're going to distribute the weight. When measuring, I mentioned our goal was to have the vertical force on the trailer platform so we can spread it out evenly. The trailer stake will just prevent movement in any horizontal direction. With this final design, it's not just good, it's good enough. I had another problem though. I just couldn't get this thing to print. The supports were always messed up, corners peeling up. I'll be honest, I kind of gave up since my CNC machine parts were already shipped out. I've done some other bigger prints with glue that really helped, but back when I was trying this, I just couldn't get it to work. I got these pieces in the mail a while ago, but unfortunately it took me a few weeks to get around to it, so instead of summer, we're now in fall, which is my favorite season. Craftsmanship looks great. The finish is uniform, feels good, aluminum's light. I'm really happy with this. So to assemble, you just smush the two parts together. The plastic should deform a bit for you and make this easy. You drop in the bolt, which has a conveniently sized hex hole at the top, so you don't need to worry about a wrench up there. Washer, split washer, throw on your nut, and this does fit a socket wrench. So let's get these tested. They slide in, feel snug. I'm not terribly worried about it. We'll get these ramps on and see how it feels. I could have made the base a little wider to prevent a little wobble, but to be honest, when I'm actually on the ATV, the weight of it, it feels just fine. I want to try the 3D printed parts though. While I didn't end up needing them, I want to know how they do. So we have our design that was meant to be 3D printed. I'll jump on it a few times, seems pretty solid. And then I want to put my prototype of the CNC part on too, to see how that feels. Sturdy enough. Like it if you like it, subscribe if you want more. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.